That is not supposed to be that way. People, my dreams have come true. I've been wanting to get my hands on a craft kit like this since dinosaurs existed. Quiet. So imagine my surprise when I found it at the Dollarama for only $4.50 Canadian. I brought it to the cashier, who was very nice because she didn't make eye contact with me the whole time. Am I a grown-ass man excited about a little girl's bath bomb kit? Yes. So let's look at the box of a $4.50 bath bomb kit from Dollarama. So on the front cover, it looks like they have a few pretty good designs. They have a heart-shaped one with some multicolor. They have a classic sort of dual tone orange and yellow bath bomb. I've made something that looks like this before. And then they have a mix there. I'm really curious how well their molds are going to perform, because to get a circular bath bomb like this without that sort of ridge, you only really get that with expensive molds. Apparently we can make up to 3 bath bombs. I don't know how big the bath bombs are going to be, but that's a pretty good deal. Age is 6 and up, I definitely qualify. It also says it includes everything we need, which is a huge bonus, but whether or not that's going to be the case, I don't know. This is a $4.50 craft kit. We'll investigate when we actually open the box. On the back, we can see the ingredients and some precautionary labels. And looking at their ingredients, it looks like the first ingredient is paraffinum liquidum. I just gotta be careful saying that I'm not casting a magic spell. Okay, so apparently it's a highly refined paraffin oil. Next we have ethylhexyl palmitate. Now, the interesting thing about the ingredients is they don't show baking soda and citric acid. I know this kit comes with baking soda and citric acid. It says it on the front here, but why is it not like legally listed on the ingredients? Also, looking at the picture of what seems to be Matilda caught in a bath, it looks like they've photoshopped the color of the foam to be like fantastic different colors. That's not gonna happen. I get the appeal. They're trying to make it colorful and attractive to kids, but to be honest, like, we don't need to color the foam. Criticism aside, I'm really excited to open this up and see what's inside. Okay, let's see what's inside. Here we have our minuscule bag of cornstarch. We have our tiny tablespoon of coconut oil. We have the heart-shaped mold that's pictured on the front. It looks like we have 3 bags of mica. So we have purple, pink, and blue, really going for the vaporwave sort of galaxy aesthetic. These are really fun colors to play around with. Now, something I'm gonna mention. Look at the box, there's no yellow, and there's no way that we can get yellow by mixing these colors together. Here we have the actual bath bomb mold, and then we have a bottle of essential oil. I don't know how well you can see that, but it says vanilla essential oil. Vanilla essential oil does not exist. So this is just vanilla fragrance oil, perhaps. Let's actually take a smell. I literally can't smell it. I can't smell anything, so I can't verify if it's just vanilla fragrance oil, but labeling it as essential oil, that's also false. We have a little bag of citric acid. Now, the problem I see with this citric acid is the crystals are very large. I always prefer to use citric acid that's able to fit through like a fine mesh sieve. Then we have our old bag of baking soda, which has a lot of crumbles in it. Then we have our bag of Epsom salt, which looks suspiciously like table salt. I don't know, you're gonna have to let me know. Every time I've seen Epsom salt, it's been the size of like rock candy. And then lastly, we have our instructions. All right, instructions. Before you begin, you will need to gather a few supplies from home. Okay, so on the front you said, includes everything you need. So why are you saying we need to gather a few more supplies? Okay, I'm gonna eat my words a little bit. Water, that's reasonable. A bowl, 8 ounces or larger, it specifies. 1 disposable spoon for mixing. Why would you use a disposable spoon? And 1 set of measuring spoons, a teaspoon and a tablespoon. Now, here's the thing. If they wanted to specify on the front of their kit, includes everything you need, why wouldn't they just make these bags predetermined sizes? Also, why is the coconut oil brown? That kind of grosses me out. I don't even really care that I need to use my own water, my own measuring spoons, and my own bowl. My only problem is that they say on the front includes everything you need. It actually doesn't include everything you need, so just stop saying things that aren't true. Set up an area to work on, use some newspapers under your chosen work. That's gonna be fun, try getting a physical newspaper these days. For inspiration, keep the packaging artwork next to you in case you want to refer to it. Unless, of course, you want to use the color yellow, which is in 2 of the 3 bath bombs that they show on the front. Now, something that's strange on these instructions is it says, choose your desired essential oil. Well, considering the only essential oil you actually gave us was the vanilla essential oil, which is just a mythical thing, I think this is the only thing I could technically desire to want in my bath bomb. I've decided what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mix everything together how they tell us to. Maybe I'll divide it into 2 colors, and then with that, I'll see how much bath bombs it yields. Because hopefully the recipe that they're giving us on the paper is only for 1 bath bomb. All right, everything's red. It's time to move on to the actual kit. All right, I've got a vessel to do all of my bath bomb experiments in. Pour 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. So these are half tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that I've opened the bag, I can't actually seal it again. If I wanted to make a bath bomb maybe later in the week, then I'd have to make sure this doesn't spill on anything. I also need 2 teaspoons of that. So these are half teaspoons. I don't know where the actual full measurements of the things I need went, but they're hiding somewhere in the house. I guess I sort of should have used a sieve for this to get rid of all those clumps, but the kit didn't specify that I needed that, so I'm just gonna follow what the kit says. All right, it also wants us to add 2 full teaspoons of citric acid. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. And then 2 teaspoons Epsom salt. Whoa. Okay, well, that's not even 2 teaspoons. I guess technically it is because it says there's 10 grams in here and each teaspoon is 5 grams. But if this is only a third of the kit, then I'm sort of surprised that they wouldn't have saved some of the Epsom salt for the other ones. Again, this makes me really dubious. I really wonder if I'm making the whole kit right now or if I'm doing just one bath bomb. We'll see. Also, something I'm gonna add. Let me just fetch the box again. It says on the side, play and learn. We're not learning anything. I mean, it would have been nice if the little instruction book told us what the purpose of the Epsom salt was, or maybe the reaction between the baking soda and the citric acid and how that makes the water bubble. Why didn't they include that in the instruction manual? I've measured all the dries. Use your hands to thoroughly mix all the ingredients together. I wouldn't completely recommend that when using actual bath bomb mix because citric acid can be harsh on your skin. I hate that feeling. So I switched to a fork. I'm a big texture person and I don't know why, but I've always been averse to like powder. I hate the feeling of powder on my skin. I really hate the feeling of cotton, like the feeling of pulling a cotton ball apart in my bare hands. Oh, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it right now. All right, next step is to choose a mica powder color to add to the kit. I don't want to do that quite yet because I want to see if I could divide the colors to make like a multicolored bath bomb. It doesn't actually specify in the instructions how to do that. It just expects you to throw one mica powder in and then that's the color your whole bath bomb is gonna be. I'm not gonna take that risk. So I'm gonna hold off on the mica powder for now and move on to the next step. Pour a half teaspoon of coconut oil into the mixture. Now it doesn't specify melt this in the microwave. Because this is solid. I live in Canada where it's cold. I guess it's partially melted, so I'm not gonna melt it in the microwave. I'm just gonna throw it into the mixture. By the way, measuring half a teaspoon of this is gonna be a huge pain because it's not completely liquid, but it's also not completely silent. It's also not completely solid. Quarter teaspoon. Does that look like a quarter teaspoon to you? I think it does. Oh, we first have to add the mythical vanilla essential oil. So let's open that up. We have to add a quarter teaspoon, which actually seems like a lot. Whoa, why is it? Why is it a gel? Holy moly, that is not supposed to be that way. So we're supposed to take a half teaspoon of water and slowly drizzle it in as we're mixing with the other hand. It's all bubbling, I can see it bubbling. Okay, that looks pretty mixed in. Oh, it smells like tequila. I'm gonna mix it a bit. Ugh, it's so crunchy and so gross. I'm just gonna mix it with my hands to make sure it's all thoroughly combined. And then I'm gonna measure out a little bit so that I can change the colors. I'm just gonna do it by eye. That looks like half. I don't even think, this isn't even mica. And I know this isn't mica because it doesn't have that shimmery sort of quality. This is just neon powder. Oh, there's just so much lying going on in this kit. And then the blue one, maybe the blue one is actually the way it's supposed to be. By the way, something I'm gonna mention, you're not supposed to use ultramarines in bath bombs. It's because of the way the pH is and the way that it interacts with the citric acid. It'll make your bath smell like rotten eggs. Yeah, again, this isn't, that's just a powder. Right, I'm gonna stir them. Oh yeah, it gets a nice pink color. That one looks nice. And then I'm gonna do this one. It seems to be clumping pretty well. It seems like the instructions had you add the proper amount of liquid. I wanna make a circular bath bomb. Add the mixture to the mold in small increments while firmly pressing down to ensure it's packed tightly. So I need to pack it tightly. So I'm gonna add the powder and then I'll sprinkle some of the blue. I'll sprinkle some more of the pink. It looks like we're gonna have a lot more pink than we do blue. Leave that aside. Blue, and then some more pink, and then flatten it out a bit. and then add some more blue. I'm gonna try and get this in there. I'm gonna try and fit the whole entire bath bomb mix inside this bath bomb. Yeah, I'm just curious, why didn't they give us a yellow? Because I feel like they have the pink, they have the blue. If they had given us the yellow, we could have made any color we wanted. So why didn't they just give us that freedom? My molds are pretty filled. I guess I'll pat them down a little bit, and then I will close them together really quickly. 1, 2, 3. Where did the seam go? Seam, there we go. Just gotta squeeze it really tight. Okay, and I'm gonna leave that in there for 1 minute. Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute.
Second timer for 1 minute. Starting now.
All right, I actually let it sit for longer than a minute because my camera was mad and wanted me to turn it off. And I also wanted to clean up a bit of my workspace. So here is the bath bomb ready to be unmolded. To give it the best chance possible, I'm just gonna strike the outside to try and release it from the mold so that it doesn't fall apart. All right, here's the big moment. I'm a little nervous. No, it's split. Well, now what am I supposed to do? You know, maybe I have some leftover mix here. Maybe if I just add some more and just pretend that that didn't happen. Normally when it splits like that, you've compressed it too much, but I'm not blaming that on myself because the kit told me to press it down tightly. So this is totally on the kit. Ugh. Okay, we'll try this again.
Whoa.
Why do I get the feeling that this isn't gonna work? Okay, let me pry it out. But I don't want to ruin the pretty design I have on the inside. Oh, I was so excited. See now, because of the measurements that they gave us, it's compacted too tightly. Okay, you know what? Oh, okay, well maybe I'll take that. And I'll just sort of glue them together like nothing happened. My dreams. Okay, you know what? We'll just do what it did on the front of the cover with that really ugly blue mixed one. I'm not gonna follow their instructions of pressing it down because I think pressing it down makes it more difficult to release from the mold. So I'm just gonna assemble it the way that I would normally assemble a bath bomb. Da-da-da, fill it up. We're running out of mix really quickly. Blah. It's impossible to get the thing inside the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has these ridges here that are meant to go inside each other, but to actually aim properly is next to impossible. Honestly, I don't even think we need to let it sit for a minute. I think that's just some fabricated nonsense to make us feel like we're doing something. Probably just better to release it immediately. Oh. Yes. Okay, now the tricky part. This is ridiculous. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, this should not be happening. If this is a kit that's made for kids, then a kid should be able to make a bath bomb from your kit. But the problem is, the mix, there's just something wrong with it. Maybe I'll try adding a bit more water and see if that helps. I'm not giving up on my bath bomb dreams. There we go. Maybe it was on me. Maybe I just didn't add the correct amount of water. And look at that color. That's a beautiful color. All right, let's try this one last time. Now comes the tricky part of actually getting it inside the mold. Oh, I think I did it. And I will let it sit in there for an actual 1 minute. All right, it's been 1 minute. Let's open it up. I'm not gonna do any tapping because, again, they didn't say that in the instructions. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm gonna tap. Come on, open. Oh, I was pulling the wrong tab. Oh. Okay, so the top came off, but it definitely split down the middle. They're obviously having a problem. Yeah, it just doesn't stay together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in a silicone mold, pat it into the silicone mold, and let it dry in there so that when I remove it, it will hold its shape. This ain't it. All right, so I have a silicone cupcake mold. I'm just gonna throw all of the powder in there. What I will say is it does dry very quickly. Mix, mix, mix. This is so freaking fun. All right, I took a little break. I have renewed purpose. So let's make another bath bomb. Hopefully this time it works. That 1, 2. Based on that one simple measurement, I guarantee you they did not give us enough materials to make 3 bath bombs. On the front cover, it says makes up to 3 bath bombs. Why would you even lie about the number? Like, why not just give us a bit more of the materials that you need? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then look at this, we have some citric acid left over. That just doesn't make any sense. We used up all the Epsom salt, so we can't add any Epsom salt to this. Then we can add a 1/4 teaspoon of our desired essential oil. Ugh. Ah! Okay, so the plastic comes off. It looks like they don't even give you enough. I don't even know what this is made of. First off, it's not essential oil. I'm guessing maybe they used like coconut or palm oil maybe? Or maybe that's where like one of the parabens comes from, because essential oil does not solidify like that. And it does, essential oil does not smell like tequila, especially vanilla essential oil. This should smell like Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm gonna mix that in before I add the water, because I wanna make sure that it's nice and incorporated. Add it slowly. I don't know how they could make something smell so bad. So I don't think we have enough mix here to divide it into 3. So I'm just gonna do what I did last time. I'm gonna try and do 2 dual tones. This time I guess I'll do pink. I'll use up the rest of that pink and I'll do purple. We could get a little love heart going on. And yeah, this is definitely not mica. This is definitely neon powder. I don't mind that it's neon powder. I really like the neon powders because they're really vibrant. Don't say they're mica. Mica is supposed to sparkle and you get a lot more variation with the color. Something I'll also say about this kit, and I'm not gonna criticize it too much for not including this, is it doesn't contain any polysorbate 80 or any sort of emulsifier that will help bind the oils and bind these neon colorants with the water. When you're making actual bath bombs, you wanna make sure that you have an emulsifier like that. Otherwise, all of these colorants and all of the oil is just gonna float to the top of the water and it's gonna look really gross. So overall, it just would have been better to include. But again, this is a really cheap kit. I think I made this a little too wet, but hopefully that's good because we need something to work here and variation is key. So I have my little pink. Maybe I'll do 2 tones. I'll add like some pink there. I'll add some purple there. I made this way too wet, but that's okay. The good thing about it being so wet is cleanup is easy. And then we got the purple there. I'm just gonna flatten it slightly just so that we can fill in all those gaps. All right, I'm gonna close this up. Whoa, it's like the more I press it, the more it wants to come out. It's getting wetter the more I play with it. Don't take that out of context. The more I press it, the less it wants to seal, which means the mixture is activating, it's wanting to escape and release all that gas. You know what, screw this, I'm just gonna press it with my hand like that. I can feel it wanting to escape. I cannot fight the forces of nature. I don't even need to wait the whole minute because it comes out so easily. The mixture is too wet. Ta-da! Ah, that actually looks pretty nice. It's very bubbly, so I'll just let this dry. I'll let the other one dry, and then we'll see how they look a couple days from now. A couple days from now is a funny way of saying a month.
A month?
Yes, I waited a month for these bath bombs to dry, not because I wanted to give them the best chance of working, but because I was lazy. After all that time, these monstrosities should be super dry and ready to go into the tub. I'm guessing they'll float in the water, especially that porous heart one there, just based on how long they've been drying and how light they feel. So before we throw these in the tub, I've got a few positive things to say. First, they've recovered from their tequila hangover and are all sobered up for round 2. They no longer smell bad. They smell like nothing, which is much more desirable compared to how they smelled before.
Oh, it smells like tequila.
Second, the colors are extremely potent. Because the kit provided us with neon powders instead of micas, those pinks are like opening a portal to a different dimension. I'm just a little worried they're gonna stay in the tub.
I'm just a little worried they'll stain the tub.
Lastly, these pink bombs, they're extremely hard. Like, kudos to them for innovating a cheap way to make cement. The same cannot be said for the blue one, however, which is extremely fragile and is holding together about as well as the concept of trickle-down economics. After all this hard work, you're all excited to see how these behave in the water, so while I draw a bath, please consider liking the video, subscribing to this channel, and ringing the bell for notifications for when I upload all content soapy. Let's start with the pink one because I'm sure that'll probably perform the best. You know, I was surprised that this bath bomb fizzed at all. Considering how wet I made the mixture and how it was activating before my very eyes, there were enough reactants in there to produce fizzy. I'll address the elephant in the room though. It's really ugly. See all those little floaty flakes coming off the bath bomb? That's raw neon colorant that's just gonna float away to the edges of the tub and stick. The bath bomb also smells a bit salty, which could just be natural bath bomb smell. Let's take a look at this crumbly blue one, which I'm expecting to float. No. Okay, so just looking at the tub here, where are all the colorful foamy bubbles, Montoy? Does this look close to any of the photos that you advertised on your box of lies? I'm pulling the plug on this operation. Let me show you why you should always use an emulsifier when using these sorts of colorants. This is what happens to the tub as you drain it. Most of that color just ends up on the walls. Very little actually makes it down the drain. And just to show you the extent of how annoying this is, I'm spraying hot water on it from the shower head. And it's literally going nowhere. Imagine how many parents just stopped encouraging a hobby their kid was interested in because their tub got stained pink. That is no bueno, pa bien, hindi maganda, not good. So I went in, armed with a fresh sponge, soap, and warm water to attack that neon scum, and what a battle it was! I was on my knees, I'd scrub for 5 minutes, and all the color I scrubbed would drip down and contaminate other parts that I cleaned. So overall, I would say I was at it for like 15 minutes, just scrubbing, then quickly rinsing with the shower head. It was an ordeal. Here's how it looked when I was done, and it looks pretty clean, but there are still some spots with some obvious staining. Not quite the resolution I would have wanted after using a bath bomb, especially if it was my first time. And could you imagine if you actually bathed in all of that neon grime? Like water marble yourself? Yeah, that's gonna get a boo from me. So what do I think about this kit? Where do I start? First, let's dissect how many times this kit lied to us with a little lie counter. It doesn't include everything you need. There's no orchid fragrance, no floral fragrance, and not even a vanilla fragrance. It doesn't actually make 3 bath bombs. They don't give you a yellow colorant, so you can't actually make the bath bombs pictured. The foam in the water is a lie. Vanilla essential oil does not exist. Those Epsom salts are likely table salt. They didn't give us mica, they actually gave us powdered neon colorants. Learn is a lie because the kit doesn't actually teach you anything. What I did learn is that this kit is crap and not worth any money. Flat out lying to consumers is unacceptable. I don't care how cheap it is. I would even say this kit is a total scam because it deceived me out of $4.50 and gave me a dirty mess to clean up. Moving past the rampant false advertising, the activity itself was not fun at all. My dreams! The coconut oil seemed ancient. The essential oil, quote unquote, was repulsive. I wasn't supplied with enough ingredients to make 3 full bath bombs. I couldn't even make a bath bomb using the sphere mold because the mix was so difficult to work with and dried so quickly. Their performance in the tub was mediocre at best and titanic at worst, and cleaning my tub for 15 minutes was not the grand payoff I was expecting from this kit. It deserves nothing higher than a big fat 0-star rating. You might be thinking, Chris, you paid $5 for it, what did you expect? And while that's a fair position to have, I think it sort of downplays the larger problem these sorts of cheap craft kits contribute to. Step 1, make your product appealing to kids. Step 2, disappoint them. Step 3, they feel dissatisfied so they ask their parents for another cool looking kit. Rinse and repeat. It's a wasteful cycle that only benefits the one multimillionaire behind it all, so I think these sorts of things should be called out and shamed, frankly. Lying to consumers, especially the young and impressionable, is not okay. For any bath bomb enthusiasts who wish to have a go at the craft but don't want to spend a ton, I honestly wouldn't recommend any sort of bath bomb kit. Craft kits tend to be overpriced, even the ones from reputable suppliers, and most of them don't even come with an emulsifier, which is blasphemous. I made a video where I made the cheapest soap ever. Let me know if you'd like me to try and create the cheapest bath bomb ever using color and fragrance so that you can all try it at home for cheap. On that note, I hope you all had a wonderful new year. That was a bath bomb journey in the soap universe. Thank you all for watching and sticking around. Bye.